WIDR Kalamazoo.
This is Live, Loud, and Local, taking listeners inside the best live shows in Kalamazoo and beyond. This is 89.1 WIDR FM. You can listen live on widrfm.org. Hello, listeners. It is Karen again. If this is the first time listening in, I'm a chronic concert goer. Last night, I just went and saw Saturdays at Your Place, Charmer, Prince Daddy and the Hyena, and Free Throw in Lansing last night.
Wow.
That show was killer. I've been wanting to see Prince Daddy for a while now, and they were good, and the crowd was fun, and I almost twisted my ankle in the mosh pit last night. But enough about that. Maybe my guest will be asking me some more questions about that, but I want to introduce our guest. So, who do I have on today?
Yo, what it do, people? It is Ryan Misiak.
The listeners at WIDR already know you pretty well.
They may.
But you're usually in like the my position.
Yeah.
The interviewer position.
I feel like I'm never in the Ryan Misiak position. You know what I'm saying? It's a little weird being on the couch, just chilling like this and in my open form.
Yeah. For all of our listeners, Ryan is laying across our couch that we have in the recording studio right now.
Hey, we're chilling. I cannot tell you, Karen, how excited I am to be in the studio, to be a guest on Live, Loud, and Local.
Good.
A show that, hey, I've been dreaming about being a guest for a minute now.
Yay.
And let me tell you, I just had to do it.
I would say the way you could have you literally just asked me and I'm like, yeah, I don't have a guest. Come on.
I've been waiting for that. I hope you know that.
Really?
I've been waiting for the minute where you are like, hey, do you know anyone? And I'll be like, yeah, I guess I can hop on.
Yeah, me.
I've been doing it. So like the minute you said that, I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to say I could do it.
Yeah, because this came across because I had don't ask me how I came across 25 extra Shawarma King wraps, but I came across that extra.
Was it that quick ago? Dang,
yeah,
it feels like I've been
2 days
anticipating this moment. Really, that's crazy.
And so WIDR had a social that was kind of happening, and I came and I was like, hey, there's hungry people here. I know people will take this food. And Ryan hadn't eaten that day.
All day. Let me tell you, I did a double take. It was like finding water in the desert when that shawarma came to me.
Yeah, and then I was like,
25
Ryan,
extra shawarmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Karen.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course. I can't eat 25 shawarmas by myself.
Again, thanks for thinking WIDR in the moment.
Yes, exactly.
That was a blessing.
And so I was delivering all the shawarma, and I'm like, yo, Ryan, I don't have anyone for my show this week. And Ryan's like, I mean, I could come on. And now he's here in the flesh. Like he is every week, but now he's actually sitting on the couch.
I'm here. And I just started releasing music again on all platforms. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it just felt like destiny to become a guest here on the show.
Good, as it should be.
As it should.
So tell me about the stuff that you've been releasing.
I have 2 singles out right now. One of them is titled Space Ranger, and is a project from around a year ago, right when I moved to Kalamazoo. And, that'd be a fun project to talk about. But I also have another single out that's called New York Lights. And it just was a great fun beat that I just couldn't get out of my head. So I just got to share this with the world, you know?
Yeah.
Can't be the only one that'll like something like this. And all the artwork that's out there is actually on there is stuff I paint as well.
Oh, so, that was all you?
Yeah, fun.
Nice.
I love painting. My girlfriend really got me into acrylic painting on just canvas.
Nice.
And it's fun to be able to use those as inspirations for like artwork and stuff like it's kind of fun. But 2 projects, just instrumentals of like beats and no vocals. I don't do any vocals on tops. I'm just a beat maker, a kid with a laptop and a I guess I have a desktop, but I kind of have been not using it too much. But those are my 2 tracks out right now.
Yeah, so you're using more like your laptop, kind of creating it like in software. Do you like record anything, or is it all like?
I don't record anything. I'm not I'm not a musician.
Mm-hmm.
I can play like the piano, but it's more of just like a keyboard.
Yeah.
I guess I've recorded the keyboard, but it's not something I primarily do.
Gotcha.
I do all my works in Ableton, which is a digital audio workstation that is, I guess, an option of the many that are out there.
Yeah.
And it's very fun. As a kid, I learned it. Maybe I started 10 years ago on Ableton.
Nice.
It was just something I learned online, was something that you could use, and I'll start playing around, and it took a while to get comfortable in it, but I mean, a good bit later, I've been working like for 8 to 10 years on that program, and
nice.
And I've been able to pick up a lot of just musical skills along the way.
Yeah, because I just looked. When I first got my laptop, I have Logic Pro on with this laptop.
Logic is a great DAW as well. Fun.
I tried pretty hard to like learn that, and it's a lot. It's difficult, especially if I'm like doing it by myself and learning through YouTube videos.
Which is a great resource. YouTube is so helpful, especially recently with the accessibility of these tools.
Oh, definitely.
I remember back then it was so hard to find YouTube videos
I bet.
On projects. And if it was like made by the
company.
The company or just, I mean, it's just hard to find back then.
Yeah, and even like buy like the videos from the companies probably help a bit, but it's all through like this layer of we have to cover all this stuff, and we can't talk about this, but we can talk about this kind of stuff, and they're halfway helpul, and it's not the same thing as like this random guy who
some kid in his basement.
Like, I've
just
been looking
filming
for 3 hours for an answer, and I figured it out. I'm making a video so I can actually help somebody. I can't tell you how many computer problems I've solved just from stuff
YouTube's
like that.
Great, and actually, I'm glad you talked about it because I've learned so much just through watching other people create as well, and see now everyone's got their own workflow, and it's like, hey, I never thought about building a bass line like that on top of my beat, and this person, that's their first step is to create the bass, sure, but hey, it's just a different process.
Like a different way of looking at it, and you're like, wait, that actually makes a whole lot of sense,
and it sounds great. Like the fact that you're able, I don't know, YouTube is so cool.
Yeah, super. So tell me about kind of these 2 songs that you have out right now. Kind of like how those came to be. Did you make them like in a night? Were they like a year-long thing you were working on? Like, tell me a little bit kind of about that process.
Yeah, so it was the first project, Space Ranger, which is you'll see a little astronaut if you are looking at the track. It was a project I made with my friend. It's actually something I did record. He's a guitarist back from my hometown. But I moved out to Kalamazoo for school, and I'm studying multimedia arts and technology, which is actually just recording arts and really just recording in a studio and live sound stuff. So came out here for a good reason, and recording my friend for this project was great. And then ended up just sampling his guitar. He had a guitar loop and sampled it. And I don't even know if you could tell what the noises of the sound of the song, the melody. It doesn't sound like a guitar at all. It's like an amalgamation of like weirdest noises. I guess you could call it like that experimental.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to say dubstep, but like electronic music?
Yeah.
Would you call it that?
Electronic-like kind of, at least inspo from it.
It's tough because like I'm not like a genreist. I don't really like put genres on like, I don't really, it's just music to me. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, and genres are so like an arbitrary, like you can get so specific with genre and then it's still not even 100% accurate.
So it's like hard to even describe like what the sound is. That's why you gotta listen, folks. And I'm sure you have been listening. Because a lot of these songs that I'm going to talk about are actually background music for podcasts and my show on air.
Nice.
So I'm sure a lot of these tracks have just like, as they're not released worldwide on streaming platforms just yet, but they're still getting played out there.
Good. So I've just added your song New York Lights. I have a playlist called Live Loud and Local on Air, and it's a list of songs that I talk about on air. So if you're interested in that, it's in my Instagram bio. So you guys can take a listen and find that super quickly. And
stream New York Lights, folks.
Stream New York Lights.
And that's actually we'll talk about that next since I kind of touched on Space Ranger a little bit. New York Lights is literally just a beat I cooked up on my laptop, and it's not really how I ever I don't want to say like to make beats, but I guess it's just so different. I have a nice home studio that I love to use, but for some reason I'm just so comfortable making beats on my laptop that I almost prefer it now.
Nice.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's really weird because you have this like a $100,000 car, but you're like driving the beat down Toyota on this laptop I have. It's so old, but it allows me to just work in a different workflow. And this was one of the first beats that I was like so proud of making on my laptop in like not even like 15 minutes. It was just like really reminiscent of a trip I recently had to New York that I was like, I have to then now, as inspired from this song about this New York trip, now create art based on that New York trip. And the artwork is the city of New York, kind of in a weird,
definitely a weird like it's almost like villainy.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I don't even know how to describe it. But,
yeah, I thought that was super cool. I didn't even know that you painted these. I think that that's such a cool little
I love
addition
art.
You can do that to that, because I didn't know that you painted
all of the artwork. Yeah, I do. That's
so cool.
I think I mentioned it earlier. My girlfriend got me into it, and she's a great artist. Which we're actually working on a point and click puzzle game.
Ooh,
right now.
Nice.
That she's designing all the artwork for, and I'm doing all the original sound for. So
that's super, super cool.
I'll talk more about that on a distant show, maybe. That's going to be a long work, but that's exciting.
So you're telling me, a real reason you wanted to come on this show is you said that you have some stuff coming out.
Oh, you know it. You know it.
Tell me about that.
I got to sit up for this. Head over to the laptop because, oh my goodness, folks, I have 2 EPs in the work right now. And one of them is it's like a concept work. I would say concept album, but it's an EP. It's just 4 tracks. Super, I don't say short, but just a smaller collection.
How many songs are on each?
4 on each.
4 on each?
If 5, I may add another one to the second EP that's going to be coming out later.
Gotcha.
Maybe even a few more because I've been so inspired recently, making the songs for this one of the EPs that I'll be mentioning that I just kept working and kept going in overdrive when I was cooking up. So
yeah, if it's flowing, like why stop the flow?
Yeah, why stop the flow? Yeah, why clog up the dam if that dam's releasing?
Yeah.
What would be a good drink? Could be releasing anything, Karen. Are you a coffee drinker? You are.
Yes.
It's releasing coffee.
There we go.
There we go.
I'm currently drinking a grande iced white mocha from Starbucks.
Karen sent me a text before we were recording, just like we were like getting close to recording time, and I think you just wanted to let me know what you were up to, and you're like, I'm getting a caffeinated beverage. Is that what you said?
I think I said I'm getting caffeine downstairs.
I was like, oh, that's so freaking funny because hey, I'm right there with you. I left my jug over there, but I'm always sipping on that coffee. I'm always drinking coffee, definitely while making music too. It's definitely a good inspiration. But first EP, concept work, all inspired around the Sonic Empire, the Sonic world, the Sonic. I mean, Sonic soundtrack is so great, and just I had to do my own concept work around the idea of the drums on those tracks are so fun. They're always moving you, and it's a great like counterpoint to the gameplay where you're just like on nonstop running. So
nice.
I got 4 tracks, all inspired by Sonic, and it's titled "Things for Sonic."
That's really cool.
The number 4 and Sonic. So 4, it's just instrumental music again, no vocals, but really it's inspired by like Sonic colors, which I don't know how many people tuning in know much about the Sonic games, but there's a casino part of the map, and one of the songs is inspired around a casino. So there's a lot of casinos. Like
Nice.
just it reminds me just of that whole scene. And a lot of just dance music. I've been doing I guess this was all a summer work, so
Yeah.
I was just all on that summer vibe of good vibe and music.
Yeah,
and
you're trying to
dancing.
move.
So it really is. I guess it's Sonic inspired, but I would call it like a dance EP of like
Gotcha.
electronic dance.
Nice.
Music. Yeah.
That's the stuff that
Drum and bass, maybe, if you've heard of that type of genre of
Okay.
music. Drum and bass, but like this isn't like recorded. This is like all just like produced in software. Drum and bass, I don't know. Again, I don't want to say I'm not a genreist, but here I am just spewing out what genres I say it would be.
You're like, oh, this kind of genre, but also mix this in and da, da, da. I mean, that's all genre is, right? Especially if like we can't just like play the whole album right now. The album's not out yet.
It's not out yet, but I'm sure some of you've heard it. Like some of you tuned in. I'm sure even on the last Live Loud and Local, one of those songs was from
Nice.
the live of one
That's
of these.
so
EPs.
funny that you
Yeah.
just keep slipping your own stuff into
Always
that.
in there. Well, we got to find copyright music for the podcast.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not going to copyright.
Yeah, you're like, what am I going to do? I just want people to listen.
Yeah, just hey, if it's hitting somebody's ears, but
That just cracks me up.
It is so freaking funny. But that's Things for Sonic. Again, dance inspired, and I love dance music.
I
Especially
love
like
dance music.
some good drums and a good simple beat like bass line. Just like something about it make you move.
So true. Like that's honestly with the music that I've been listening to lately, that's like all I want to listen to. If I can't dance to it, I'm like bored. I'm just like, I can't do this. Give me something I can move to.
Yeah, I find myself making like happy melodies all the time. It's so hard for me to do like I don't want to say like evil, but you know how some people just got that. I don't know. I find myself
just,
not
like,
able to do that. Like my brain is always like torn or like picking like the happy vibes and like fun.
You're like,
chill
I'm trying to
vibes.
say like life is so good and everything's happy and I'm frolicking through a field. Not like screamo, not like you're not trying to be mad at it.
Even like dark. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm always got like that chill, like ethereal vibe to a lot of the stuff. Like 80% of my stuff is like think of like just you're in the clouds chilling,
Exactly.
like, or you're like in a field of like sun shine.
Yeah. I mean, like with your personality, that makes so much sense. I'm not shocked by that.
I don't know how it reflects in the music so well, but take a listen to this upcoming project. And I do have a SoundCloud page that's like a throwaway with all my stuff on it.
Ooh.
It is just titled Ryan Misiak, so you can find a lot of stuff that will not be coming to all streaming platforms there.
There you go.
I love making weird stuff. A lot of stuff without even drums too.
Nice.
I'll do stuff like that. Soundtracks for, I'll do like remakes of soundtracks for stuff and try to like do sound to video. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, that's fun.
So when can we expect this first EP to be released? Do you have a release date for it yet?
This first EP does not have a release date. Do you want to know why?
Yes, I would love to.
I'm fighting with my distributor right now because it got flagged for copyright. And I don't sample anything. So
That's
I
so
am
weird.
so confused. It's being worked out right now. I literally just got a message from my distributor, an email, and I'm just like, how?
You're like, sorry.
I will show you
sorry,
the
E
entire
flat.
project settings, and you will not see any copywritten material
You're
in
like,
here.
sorry, the E flat note is copywritten by Ed
Yeah,
Sheeran. We
who
can't
knows,
release it.
dude, whatever. But that's so funny you bring that up because I'm like, oh shoot, I don't even know like when this will be coming out. If it will, shoot, maybe someone got to it before me.
Yeah,
know,
they thought of the exact same
maybe it's
idea.
already out right now and I don't even know it.
Imagine.
Oh, that'd be something. That'd be so funny.
So then, tell me about this second EP that you're working on.
Second EP, and that's still got to be finished because I might throw a couple more tracks in there. But it is oh my goodness, it is maybe like a passion project I've been wanting to work on for a while, and And I've been trying to do it year in through year out around this time of the year, the fall time.
Okay.
Fall to me is such a nostalgic period of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know. It just reminds me of just like chill times, great, relaxing. Like, why do you think that is, Karen?
I think there's something to do with, since like winter is so long here in Michigan and like summer can seem kind of never ending sometimes. I feel like it's almost like doesn't it always circle back to it's just a little bit cold outside? And
it's such a weird period, and a period where I tend to not rely on a certain style of music, but I'll always like, it's just like, this is the time of year for that music.
Oh, definitely.
And it's like chill, like what now would be called like lo-fi hip-hop beats.
Yeah.
That is my, like, that is,
No,
I was about to let rip there, but
yeah.
that is my style for right now, is like lo-fi, like really just like, I mean like high, or like low pass filter on everything.
Yeah.
It just, you got that old heavy compressed sound to it. And just like, do you know much about that style of like
I know a lot
hip-hop
of
stuff?
I know a lot of lore behind like Lo-Fi Girl and like how
yeah.
like everything like
Yo.
remember when it went offline for a minute and then all of a sudden like the
Isn't like a 24/7? I don't know too much about it, to be honest
really?
with you.
So
I remember when it started coming around, but
so there's it's a 24/7, like they're always like going, and it's
music
just
stream.
yeah, it's a music stream, and it's just this girl working on her laptop, and it's like a cartoon. But then it went offline for a little bit, and then it came back, and then the picture was different. And it
was that the whole? I remember. Yeah, that's
and so
crazy.
that was so I know a whole lot about like that because I'm kind of a frequent listener of Lo-Fi Girl and like that stream and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely study music. I can't do like studying when there's like words in it because then I'll sing along and I won't be listening.
Oh, you'll get distracted.
Yeah, I get super distracted in that regard. So I listen to a lot of that kind of stuff when it comes to like studying things. And then I know way too much about Lo-Fi Girl.
That's so funny. Yeah, you can, for those who know Lo-Fi Girl, you're seeing that picture like in your brain right now. But no, this whole EP is inspired around that style of music. And I've struggled to feel comfortable in making that style for a while.
Okay.
I mean, just I was like a SoundCloud kid way back when SoundCloud was like really popping off. And it was right around that period where this is like a big up and coming style that was like attracting a lot of attention at the time. And it was just, the production was so good. And the stuff that just drew my ear was just like, I feel like I could never replicate that to the stature of like I don't even know. Does that make sense?
So are you more talking like it takes like 10,000 hours to perfect something?
True,
and
something like that.
You're still at like 8 and like, I mean, I'm a photographer and it took me taking literally hundreds of thousands of pictures for me to start actually making art that aligned with what I had in my brain.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of creative process at this
Just
point.
exactly like that. And like, we're like, I think I'm getting somewhere, but like, it's still,
something's weird and something's off.
I don't know what this year was, but it really is like, wow, I've like just developed, I feel so comfortable in where I am, and at least the space that I've been like trying to like get comfortable in, that it's like, man, this is the time I gotta start releasing my stuff just because I feel so comfortable in this space.
Yeah.
And like I said, it got to the point where I was comfortable with the project, and now I'm just like I still feel comfortable, and I'm creating more. Everything's getting better than better.
Why not make it a full-length album if like that's what your heart so desires, you know?
But it's still like, man, I'm giddy thinking about it, just because like I've been I don't want to say waiting for so long, but I've been putting so much effort into creating like a good workflow that works for me in the space, and staying creative all the time, and using that ear to try to pick out, like, again, I don't sample as often at all, so I will I'm just always creating new melodies and just trying to do my best to reverse and resample and chop stuff up and detune, pitch down, all this type of stuff to make it sound weird, and brain's like, what is that? Sure, I can rock with that,
Nice.
maybe. And sometimes it don't work, sometimes it do. But it
Yeah,
seems
but
like,
hey, if it don't work, then it never sees the light of day.
and you know, sometimes it's like it may not work for you, but for someone else, that might just be what they need to hear.
It's like the perfect like itch in your
Isn't
brain.
that weird how that music works? And it's like everyone's got their own taste. It's like even if you make it and think it's bad, somebody might be like, dude, that's dope.
Yeah.
What? No, it's not. And they're like, no, I want that.
No, you're like, no, like, trust me, like, this is it. That's the exact same thing on my last episode. I talked about how my sister and I were moshing to People, which is a very screamy, angry song that the 1975 released. And it's not like any of
the
their other
Halloween?
stuff. Yeah, at the
Yeah.
Halloween show.
That's fun.
And it's not like any of their other stuff, and most people don't like that song, but that kind of music just itches my brain so well. My sister and I were immediately moshing and like screaming,
That's so
crying.
funny.
And people around us are like, this is weird.
Is this them?
Yeah,
And
you're like, they're like, I don't know this song. And I'm like, don't worry, I know this song and this is them. And so it's like that same thing of like, it might not work for somebody else, but like for somebody else's brain, it's just like, it's like the perfect itch. And you're like, yeah, this is exactly like what I needed with it.
That's the beauty of it all. It's truly like, and even like time changes how you think of different music. Definitely come back to like some beats. Again, I have a massive vault from when I stopped releasing music to now, and it's like, what have I been doing?
Why did you stop releasing music?
I was self-conscious back in high school.
Okay.
I mean, like, I'm talking like, I released music probably like my second year into Ableton.
Gotcha.
And that was like, it could be 6 to 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I was back in high school. I was a little self-conscious of like my homies
Yeah.
and like people's opinions of it. I definitely had like a good online persona, and I had like a good support there, but like relating that to the real world, oh my gosh, the lights turned
Not
off.
the lights.
But look how bright my computer is, dude. I
know.
haven't had it up. Go. Oh, our throwing stick.
Where's my notebook? There we go. Yeah, and then the big clonk of it.
All right, folks. Sorry about that.
Okay, we're back.
We are back, and you're listening to what are the people listening to, Karen?
This is Live, Loud, and Local.
Oh.
On 89.1 WIDR FM.
I am cheesing. It's Ryan Misiak, people. We are chatting about, I guess, just my history as a creative right now, right?
I would say so.
And we were chatting about just like releasing music back then. Yes.
And why'd you stop?
Why'd I stop? It was just, it's tough. It's a lot of pressure too, as well. I'm sure a lot of artists can relate in the fact that like you're always checking your streams and you're always checking your media, like who's checking in and what's going on, and the pressure of like, I gotta keep releasing and I gotta keep in touch in the scene. There's so many other people who are like doing the same thing. I don't want to say it gets competitive, but it can feel that pressure of it. So
You want to know a fun fact about me, Ryan?
what, Karen?
So in high school, I was a YouTuber.
We talked about this. We had a long chat about this.
Did we?
Because I was a YouTuber as well.
Oh man.
That was so long ago.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna say,
last
that must have been like when we first met.
it was like maybe the second or third time of us.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I was a YouTuber and I had a few hundred subscribers and I had people who were excited to like I did a lot of like I sat in front of my my camera.
Like webcam?
Well, not even webcam. It's my camera that I use for photography now. I use that to record YouTube videos.
That's pretty dope.
I originally bought it.
You was getting in deep, huh?
Yeah, I was really, really excited about it. But I fell into that same thing. I'm looking at all my stats.
It's a lot. No.
And my friends thought it was weird, but online I had a really good support system when it came to that.
Isn't that crazy
And it's still up. It's still public.
Good.
It's almost kind of a thrill that I'm like, I leave it up. And I'm like, eventually one of my friends will find it. Like even my boyfriend, I haven't shown him any of my YouTube videos.
Oh my god.
But I'm like, if you look hard enough, my name's not attached to it. But like if you look hard enough, like there are clues many places. If you do enough social media stalking, you're gonna find it.
Enough digging deep, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're interested
some
in
deep
seeing
Karen lore.
Yeah, so if you're interested in finding out about 16-year-old Karen and all her opinions, do some
man.
social media stalking and maybe you can find it.
I see. I don't think you told me that much about it last time.
Maybe I didn't.
But we were just talking about how I remember it was really like when you must have been talking about your degree, and then we just got into that.
Yeah.
Stuff,
Okay.
But it's a lot of pressure always, and it's like an ice picking out a block of ice. You know, it's like it might not seem like a lot, but when you're checking all different platforms and whatnot, at the end of it, it's like a full-time job.
Yeah.
So I think that pressure got to me. I was like, I am done releasing music.
Gotcha.
And then the fact of like I'm still not comfortable with where I want to be yet.
Yeah, like you're like in regards of you're not releasing stuff that you're like super proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, not as often, you know. Sometimes like, oh, this is great, and then it's like, oh, this stuff is not good.
Yeah, and then you listen to it a month later, and you're like, I actually hate this.
Yeah. So I guess I'm just so comfortable with the software I work in and the creative process. I just have honed down such a great workflow for myself. That it's like I'm done. Like I said, time changes. So like you go back and like, this music's so good. Why is it just sitting here? Why was I
such a hater? Why was I my biggest hater, you know?
And I think in the fact of me just being tired with like kind of hiding it a little bit, I like started showing more people, and they'd be like, yo, you made this? Oh, yeah, word up.
You're like, actually, I feel okay about it now.
All right, now it's like, what have I been thinking? So I guess me just not manning up, but like just getting, sitting up straight. Like, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it.
Actually, I'm fine. Actually, this isn't as scary as I thought it was gonna be.
So it's a thrill, but I just hope it doesn't get into that like toxic cycle of like.
Yeah, I hope not. I guess that all depends with like what kind of boundaries you have set around yourself, like check-in stats and oh my god, if I don't get 30 new streams by the end of the day, I'm gonna be so insecure and every idea needs to be the best idea ever, and like it's all about that kind of thought process.
I think for right now it's just for fun. I think back then I was definitely more of like I'm trying to be an artist, you know? I'm not really trying to be an artist anymore. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm trying to be in life, you know?
So true.
It's like tough to try to be an artist while all that's going on. So I'm more just doing it for fun because I truly love this stuff so much.
Yeah.
Just sound design, making beats. Even if I don't share it with anyone, it's just like a release, you know? Yeah. So
and for listeners watching, or for listeners listening, not watching,
soon, maybe.
Yeah, soon, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
That would be really, really cool.
Oh.
I think that'd be very fun.
Some developments that we could talk about.
Definitely. But so everyone listening, everything like at least this show wise, like this is all Ryan. Like Ryan produces all of this stuff. Ryan is, I mean, I would not be able to do anything to the degree that Ryan would be able to do it. So he like lives, breathes this stuff. And this is like at WIDR, you do, and it's not just my show, it's every podcast?
Not every podcast. A good handful, but
yeah.
I mean, we have a bunch of engineers that are, I guess, recording their own podcasts, but I'm the production director. I'm sure some of you know, some of you may not, and I just handle, I guess,
he's the main guy.
All the audio for the station.
Yeah.
So, it's actually, talk about a great, I think that's what's in this past year helped me feel so comfortable in making and finalizing my music workflow.
Tell more about that.
Is the fact that when I first started my role here as production director, what drew my eye was radio station imaging, which are the advertisements and promos. And I would just try to make at least 3 a day. Yeah. That were all like, I would just make some sound design in Ableton.
Nice.
And that truly, it was just like, just doing it every day. It was probably one of the most recent times where I've just been like in the DAW every day. And then that just got me into like, oh, I'm making all this great sounds. I got to start making music again.
Yeah.
And then it just got into like, wow, making great music is become way easier now that I've spent maybe some more time just nailing out some of the not fun stuff.
Yeah, you're at your multi-thousand-hour mark. Maybe you're not at 10,000 hours, but you're
I don't even
there.
know, dude. I can't even think. Again, this this software has been like, it's like ingrained in my life
Oh,
now.
I bet.
It's been like just part of me more than like shoot some of my animals now. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's how I feel with like Canva, because I'm in the advertising
Canva's
program,
dope, yeah.
and I can so quickly do done, and like it's so ingrained in me. And if they change one thing, I'm gonna be mad about it, and because it ruins my whole workflow. And I bet with such a complicated program like Ableton that you're like, I know all this stuff, and blah 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 blah, blah, and I could do what I want to do.
And it's gotten to the point where I just started to branch out and do different programs because I feel so comfortable that it's like I want to feel uncomfortable again.
Yeah,
you know,
let's learn
it's
some
like
more.
I don't want to say it gets boring, but it's like, oh yeah, I maybe feel myself kind of not relying on the same workflow,
Yeah.
but it's like if I'm so comfortable in it, I want to change it up a little
almost
bit.
like you're like getting into a rut.
Kind of, yeah, maybe not
Okay.
a bad one.
No, but just
But-
like okay, let's change something so I'm not in the rut.
Change it
anymore.
up so I'm not doing the same thing over and over and maybe getting too stale.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. fun.
So, what software are you kind of in the process of like exploring right now?
Oh, Logic. You talked
Logic?
about Logic. Logic's so fun. And talk about a powerful tool that's accessible for a very, very low price.
Yeah.
And I would say like it competes with Ableton for recording and production. It definitely competes. And it may look different, but they all do the same thing. And it's just finding out how to maneuver through them.
Yeah, it's it's a tool. Just learning how to use the tool.
It's a tool, and I'm sure you could feel the same with like Photoshop, Canva.
Definitely.
There's like Krita. I'm sure. Have you heard of Krita? No, Krita's fun, kind of fun.
But I know like Adobe Illustrator.
Oh
Even
my
like you think you know Adobe when you know Photoshop, and then Illustrator comes in and you're like, oh, what on earth is any of this?
That's,
So it's just that same thing of like just learning how to use all the tools, and each tool can do so many things. It's kind of incredible. Like, oh
Truly.
my god, the such the vast amount of what's even possible that you can do in this.
and you can do like that's what's so cool about software. Is
So
you can,
true.
You can like you can do one thing like 80 different ways. Like someone's like, oh, like how do I do this? And then 2 people or like 10 people will be like all giving you different ways. Like, wait,
Yeah, and then
well, I
it's
can
like,
do
wow.
it this way, and you get the same product or you get the same
Yeah.
like end result. One might take 30 steps, one might take 4. But
Yeah.
hey, if you get there, I guess you get there.
Have you used Garage? Like, did you grow up using GarageBand?
Oh my gosh. So I told you about my home studio.
Yeah.
That's my primary studio for like just mixing and making sure all my stuff sounds like
Okay.
on high fidelity. I got my laptop for mobile beat making in my room, in my whatnot. When I'm mobile, I got GarageBand on the iPad Mini.
Nice.
And I'm cooking up on the iPad Mini. That was like years ago. Definitely what I relied on to just like before I had my home studio. It was the laptop and then the GarageBand on the iPad.
Yeah.
I made some great stuff. I mean, it's like, dang, utilize what tools you can because
so
you can make
true.
some great stuff with anything.
Yeah, because I mean, before I was able to do stuff in Photoshop on my laptop, I was working like in app editing on my iPhone 5, and just like on my phone. I didn't have internet in my house until I was a freshman in high school.
Oh my goodness.
So even like in middle school, I'm like, I don't even have internet for things, but when I'm at school, I'll download everything I need for this project and then come home and I'll make it. And
That's-
it really like, you just gotta like do it with what you can.
do what you can, and it's again something about just being creative is such a great outlet, and it's like something like creating music is like it gives you a high like none other. Or I'm sure everyone's got their own thing that is like that.
And for me, it's like I import all my pictures into my computer and I'm like, oh, this is like the perfect shot. Or I'm going through it and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done this. And then the next picture is me doing that exact same thing in real life. And I'm like, I'm nothing if not just predictable in that regard.
That's so funny. Yeah, it's something about like how do you like nothing will make time go by faster
Really?
than creative work and and like I don't want to say hyper fixating, but it's like I gotta do
Yeah,
this.
but it's like it's almost like
but it's
the
3
goggles
a.m.
are on
and I got something to do,
and you're
I
like,
gotta do this.
yeah,
I'm having
it's
so much
like the
fun.
goggles are on and you can't see anything else and time doesn't exist and it's just all I'm looking at is this thing.
Yeah, no, something about it. It's just like nothing. There's nothing like it.
Definitely not.
Like, yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
So, Ryan, where can the listeners find you?
People, listen to me. There's a lot I'm gonna shout out here.
Perfect.
I have I got streaming everywhere, all your platforms. Ryan Misiak, no spaces. RyanMisiak. You can type that into your Google search bar as well, and you're gonna find my portfolio, which has all my other works that aren't just music, that has like stuff I do for the station, the radio station WIDR. It also has a lot of game sound design that I've done previously, as well as other, I do like some audio, video, I guess just multimedia stuff. All that's there. And honestly, I love working on a bunch of different projects, and then that's where you can hit me up and say, hey, propose something, let's work.
I'm connecting with you on LinkedIn right now.
Oh my goodness, please do. You can also check me out on LinkedIn. I also have a SoundCloud, and that's where you got the hidden gems. I actually have 3 throwaway SoundClouds, because you know how the free ones fill up?
Oh, yeah.
You'll
just keep making more.
Everything, I have so much music throughout the years. I mean, 6+ years of music on multiple SoundClouds, and they'll all link to each other. So I think like I got reposts from one on the other. So
nice.
You can probably figure out who's like what's what. But a lot of music there, as well as again just on all streaming platforms. Ryan Misiak. I got a Twitter. That's like probably where you'll maybe see me most active on social media, but I don't use social media at all. So
yeah, I noticed that because
you probably won't. Like I haven't used Twitter in years.
I think it was on Instagram. I think WIDR like tagged you in something on Instagram. I'm like, oh, I'm not following Ryan. And then like your most recent post was like 2018 or something. You look like a baby, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna follow you anyway.
Yeah, I don't use social media. I don't know why. My brain they don't work with I used to use it too much. That's probably why.
Yeah,
my
probably.
brain just like broke on it. So
no, and like that's valid. Like even like my partner, like you can't find him on anything.
Really? Dang, I don't.
He hates it. He's like
my girlfriend does too.
He was like, why would I want to like put myself out there like that?
Ooh.
So the lights just went off again, listeners.
Oh, let's go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the exact same thing of like, he was like, why would I put that effort in? I don't like it. The people I want to talk to, I'll text them.
Yeah.
Where I'm the complete opposite where, I'm going into social media as a job.
It's so powerful. It's so powerful.
And I love it. I think so. I love social media. You'll see me on
something
my
about
Instagram
it, right,
stories
Karen?
all
It's a
day.
drug, dude.
Instagram stories, that's where it gets me. That's
IG.
like my
I never hit
favorite
the IG.
part.
I never hit that.
Yeah, Instagram.
Twitter got me.
Twitter,
dude.
I went through some phases with Twitter.
Twitter was fun.
I'm actually pretty followed on Twitter. I have about 1,000 followers on Twitter from photography Twitter.
Hell yeah.
And then I used to run
your little like side clubs, not side clubs, but like communities.
Yeah, exactly.
Online communities. Hell yeah.
And then when I was 16, I ran an Instagram page for I'm exposing myself here. For Doctor Who, Sherlock.
A
and Dan and Phil.
fan page.
And I had about 4,000 followers on that Instagram page.
Yo.
And I did themes and I wrote nice captions. Like, of course I was going to go into marketing.
Hey, I feel like that's a lot of people start though to either.
Oh yeah.
Just media in general is, hey, this is something I like. I'm gonna make a page about it and share the stuff I like.
Yeah. No.
Right?
Very much into that. And now I'm like doing things for Tylenol. Like
and that's so fun. And I think that's where we got talking for so long about that. Cause like,
funny how things work out.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that just reminds me of like my time doing like graphic design as a kid. I would just be on online communities.
Yeah.
What is it about that stuff, Karen?
I literally
What do you think it is, dude?
I had friends in Europe. Like, I would FaceTime my friends in Europe all the time. And I was friends with them for like...
Did you use Skype at all?
Yep.
Skype was huge, of like 30 people in a Skype call. It's like, I don't know any of you. I have never seen your faces. But yet I still call you some weird online alias and you call me something, dude.
Were you ever into Clubhouse?
Clubhouse? What's that?
Was I think it was in the last 2 or 3 years that it was just audio chats.
No, dude.
I really got into Clubhouse there.
Clubhouse,
for a minute.
interesting.
And just getting into chats with people who wanted to talk.
Chat.
Yeah.
Literally.
And I would get into a lot of photography communities, but there was name something, there was probably a Clubhouse about it.
That's crazy.
I got
Clubhouse. I gotta look that up.
It's
pretty
pretty cool. There's definitely music related stuff on there.
I didn't hit the Discord age or that period. Skype was I remember when Skype was everyone had a Skype.
Yeah.
So it's that was no worry. I feel like Skype is out the mix now.
I know, because you got Zoom.
Zoom, where'd it go?
Well,
I remember Skype and I come back to this online community and I'm like, where is it? Where is everyone? You're on Discord?
Ryan, it's all marketing. They didn't keep up with the times.
They didn't. I feel like
they dropped the ball during the pandemic and now they just aren't a thing anymore.
Man. But something about those, I guess, I'm sure there's so many people who can relate with these Discords. They're the same deal, right?
Yeah, Discord is literally the exact same thing.
I guess I kind of dropped out of that whole online community thing a while back when I stopped releasing music and checking on my YouTube page. I had a YouTube channel too, just doing, I was a gamer YouTuber.
Nice.
Yeah.
What kind of games did you play?
Call of Duty.
Gotcha.
I was for those, I don't even know what I'd call you folks. Quick scoping. You know what that is?
I don't know anything about Call of Duty.
There's a whole subgenre of players that would just snipe around in the game.
That's funny.
And I like that. But it's talk about great learning skills back then.
Yeah.
Because I would dabble in editing video and editing graphic design. I'd make logos for people. And I ended up just selling YouTube and Twitter banners.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
That stuff. So I was I had a PayPal way too young. But I was I think
you were 14.
Yeah, yeah, sure, I'll be Bob Jones and whatnot or whatever.
That's so funny.
But no, something about it's just so fun.
Yeah.
Just being a creative in that space.
Oh, so true. Okay, so the takeaway from this episode is go make something.
Go make stuff, people. Be creative.
Yeah. WIDR's always needing more people to get involved over here, so head over.
Shout it out.
Head over to WIDR's website.
This is not the best space though to be creative.
It so is. It's really, really cool.
Everything that we talked about today, whether it's making music, graphic design, social media,
or even being
video.
A podcast host, anything in regards to that,
going beyond. I mean, that's some would say that's even recent.
Yeah,
podcasting.
Exactly.
That was not around when I was younger, right?
I feel like that wasn't even around pre-pandemic, or at least to the extent it is now.
I love podcasts. And I actually listen to a WIDR one a day.
Nice.
As in the morning, something about hearing just the WIDR podcast, just hearing some voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It's great.
No, it's so great.
It is great.
So yes, go head over to WIDR's website. We're always in need of more people. This is me promoting it. And you can be a podcast host just like me. That's what I did. I just walked into WIDR and I said, "Hey, I want to do something."
I got this idea.
Yeah, and I'm like, "I want to do this," and Ryan's like, "Perfect, come in and we'll
can I
record
remember
at
that day? Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Karen,
where I was I was so confused,
so long ago,
and I didn't know anything.
And look at
us now.
Karen. You've been nothing but a great host.
Thank you.
And truly, I mean, this has been a great podcast, and it's crazy to see where it's come from, for sure.
Wonderful.
It can be you, people.
It can be you.
It can be you.
So you could also find this show on Instagram at Live Loud and Local. I'm always reposting venue posters, my favorite artists, giving updates about this show.
Instagram page, folks. You have to to follow this Instagram page, Live Loud and Local.
Live Loud and Local.
I mean, if you're in the house show scene, you're gonna get pumped of everything you need. Just check that Instagram story.
Yeah, check the Instagram story. Check the upcoming thing that I have in my bio that just shows everything. Listen to my last podcast episode that came out, and I'm pretty much running down a list of a bunch of shows that are happening through the end of the year. And
wow.
Yeah, I'm
fun.
Get out to a show.
Get out to a show.
The best way to get on this show is by Instagram DM. And until next time, Kalamazoo, remember to bring your earplugs, and as always, tip the touring band.